I know no one else is coming.
Okay, so let's do the pledge.
We'll do the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, welcome everybody. Good to see everybody. Mike may appear, but I know Elizabeth and Leslie are not able to come tonight.
Well, Mike is not appearing. They've got their own meeting.
Okay, yeah, he did tell me that, actually. I forgot for several months. All right, so were there any, I forget, unfortunately, any corrections for the minutes?
I highlighted impacting as in spelling.
Yes.
Correctly.
Yep.
The 12th for the meeting for tonight.
Yep.
And up and left instead of uptown.
Uptown, okay, perfect.
Just kind of corrections.
Can I have a motion to approve the minutes as corrected?
Motion to approve.
Pam in second.
Second.
From Walt, all in favor? Aye. And so moved. Thank you. We'll have a somewhat brief NRI CSC update. I did bring the maps, the draft maps that we had at our meeting the other day. Shannon was there with me. And if anyone would like to look at them, we can leave them for everyone to look at later, or we can look at them now. I'm happy if anyone's interested.
So are they different from the ones that you circulated online?
I don't think so, but they're bigger if you wanted to see
bigger.
them. They were a little bit easier to view the other day, but
Okay. So
they're basically the same
so if they're
thing.
saying, then I don't need to see
No
the big
comments
ones.
or anything. Everybody's good. Perfect. That first outreach seemed to be perfectly fine. Those were the brochures there that we came up with. I think I send a PDF, right?
Yep.
Is that it? So that was it. It's this weekend again, so we'll be doing it again. Which moves us on into the short-term rental review letter, which is the most important thing of the evening. And Pam sent the updated version.
Right. I think we've had some email exchanges about the letter, the fact that it's at a very high level, focusing on environmental issues and other things that the CAC is tasked with. There was some thinking that the having an owner-occupied requirement was something that would be beneficial from an environmental perspective. It would provide for policing, but I did find an article that indicated that there's a case in Louisiana which calls into question the constitutionality of having an owner-occupied requirement. Now, that case isn't applicable in New York, but the town of Rhinebeck looked to it in order to not have an occupied requirement. I think the concern is that it's the only case out there. Towns want to save on litigation costs, so they just don't want to get sued, and they're being super cautious by getting rid of the owner-occupied requirement, even though there is no legal requirement at all in New York for there to be no owner-occupied. That said, some towns in California have been getting around this by requiring either owner-occupied or occupancy by a representative of the owner. So this would allow for out-of-state owners, which was the problem, the constitutional problem identified in the Louisiana case.
Yeah.
So I edited the letter to reference not only dwellings occupied by the owner, but also a representative of the owner. The point really is simply that that's one easy way without a lot of bureaucracy to fix what we think are some of the likely environmental risks. There are other ways to do that. You could have an advanced licensing requirement, such as already exists for B&B. If you require a permit, before setting up an Airbnb, then the town has an opportunity to pass on the unique circumstances. And I think that's our concern, is that in general, you know, you can imagine lots of scenarios where there'd be no problem at all having a very large Airbnb, but you could imagine other circumstances where that would cause some environmental risks, noise pollution, septic overload. It's just you can't tell in advance without looking at each case. And so that's the point of the letter.
And there was an article someplace, and I just came across it in browsing. It said that when they go through these rental places like the Airbnbs and so on, they don't necessarily proof the applicant, so anybody can show up.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And so that's a concern. I mean, so there are plenty of parts of town where that would not be appropriate. I mean, if you have neighbors that are close by, this could be a real problem. If you live in an isolated part of town where whatever goes on at your property isn't going to bother your neighbors, then maybe you can, you know, get away with something like that. So
Are we saying that anywhere?
Well,
are we broaching that at all?
So that's sort of what we're saying is that there needs to be a way to look at each situation on a case-by-case basis. That's what we.
Oh, I thought that meant, stupid me, I thought that meant the rental people, not the people going in as the clients.
No, it means each property on a case-by-case basis to determine if the property has potential for noise pollution, septic issues, water issues, traffic, and vehicular safety concerns. We can't.
That's not what I was asking.
I know it's not, but the CAC, I don't know if we can get into.
I don't know either. I just
issues.
brought it up.
Yeah.
Just be honest.
Yeah.
There's something came in emails today. I thought this was all taken care of. There's a draft ordinance,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah, it's their draft.
There's no mention of owner occupancy.
No, that's their draft. It doesn't mean it's final.
Okay.
You know, we're to you know,
So still,
give our opinion still, and we're to basically look at that draft and see if there's any wording adjustments as well.
So it does seem like it addresses some of these
Yeah.
issues, right?
it's
Like
more
each
about compliance
property
and
has to-
enforcement than it is about.
So was the
What
draft
ifs?
circulated today different from what we looked at previously?
It just came today, so I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't think it was. I only briefly looked at it.
Aren't they having a public hearing on
They
it
are.
tomorrow?